Well, the governments are investing 287 million in colleges offering vocational courses. One of the local colleges getting some of their investment is Newbury College. Lee Jamieson is the principal there. Good morning to you, Lee.
Good morning, Rich.
Are you seeing a lot of interest in apprenticeships?
Yeah, we're seeing apprenticeships go up and up. We've got hundreds at Newbury College, and they cover a wide range of different roles, all different sectors, all different jobs. And I think it is one of the most fantastic ways to learn and earn.
Yeah, and I think that's what I've learned because I've spoken to a lot of apprentices on this program. I've been to Thatcham and spoken to a lot of people there as well. And I think it's the fact that you can get the experience of working, and that is experience, isn't it? That's a life experience, actually being in the workplace, and you can also learn whilst you're doing it. I'm kind of embarrassed that I did a degree, to be honest, because I didn't really need to have a degree to do this job. There is a certain amount of snobbery, isn't there, that the route is to get a degree?
Well, I don't, your degree, that's brilliant that you did your degree. And I think I've also got a degree, so we're in the same club. But I do understand what you mean by the word snobbery. There is a fairly old-fashioned view of apprenticeships, which is that's what you do when you leave school if you can't do your A levels. And that, I don't know if that was ever true. I'm not sure it was ever true, but it is completely different. Actually, getting an apprenticeship is harder than going down one of those more traditional routes. You have to have those behaviours that you need to be able to step out into the workplace. Getting an apprenticeship is actually getting a training program and getting a job. It's a double whammy where someone moving in a more traditional education circle isn't doing. And also the other thing that people don't perceive around apprenticeships commonly is that it's for people of all ages. People think that apprenticeships are young people coming out of school and going into their first job, but actually we have apprenticeships in their 30s, their 40s, studying higher level engineering and getting degrees alongside their training.
Well, I was going to ask you that because people are getting results at the moment and they'll be looking, and there may be young people in families listening this morning. What would you say the gap is? Where is a good place to go to place your career that you're going to have success and there's going to be a space for you?
Well, I think that with GCSE results day yesterday, so that was a really exciting day for us at Newbury College. But I do think that I have real sympathy for parents, especially, who are stepping out with their children into that world because it's really confusing. The post-16 landscape is going through a long period of change. We're halfway through something called curriculum reform, which basically means all the qualifications are changing. And I've had an experience. So, I've worked in education for decades, far longer than I'd like to admit, but I've also got my eldest son. So I've walked through this journey with my 16-year-old for the first time ever. And I'm supposed to know about this stuff. I'm supposed to understand what all these words mean and how they fit together. And actually stepping through that journey with my son, he's been bombarded with apprenticeships, T-levels, applied generals, BTECs, and the list of words goes on and on and on. And it's really interesting because I do open evenings. So I stand up at open evenings for the last 10 years and I explain what these different terms mean. And I've just junked my presentation that I've tweaked year on year. I've junked it and now I've stood up and I've said, right, I'm a parent. I understand what it is that you're confused about. These are the 4 things that you need to know. And I have parents come up to me afterwards and go, oh, thank goodness, we found it so hard. And they felt that they were on the back foot. So if there's any parents out there or young people a bit confused about what the next step looks like and how the landscape is, you're not alone. Reach out to your local FE college and I'm sure they'll explain it to you.
Lee, we've run out of time, but I need to ask you where this money is going to go just quickly.
Yeah, we're going to put it into those areas where skills are required in the local area. So we're investing £7.5 million into construction, into care facilities for young and old, and into catering facilities, which catering's been struggling with skills since Brexit, really.
Okay, good to talk with you this morning. Lee Jamieson, who's the principal at Newbury College on BBC Radio Berkshire. Good morning. You are with breakfast.
The sound of Berkshire. Rich Clarke at breakfast.
BBC Radio Berkshire.